them, but with the microphone I can't because the camera. So I know some of you, I saw some faces that you weren't really happy. So again, we do apologize about that, but I hope you guys all come in spring. Plus, we are going to be doing this program again in spring, and again, we do a call for speakers, so each time it might be a little bit different, because of course, whoever comes in and speaks, it changes the topic. But you now get to know about the big reveal. So at this overnight, we actually do some things that I'm not going to talk about because you're going to do them in the spring, but we close it out the same way. And so we are going to do the closing thing with you